Super brother, 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 super brother. Super brother, super brother, super brothers.
Come over, let's get beach. Super boy, what to super why she said you like mushroom. Kids are playing on a tiger drum. La 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 baby.
Who are you?
What's your name?
Super brother.
Who are you?
What's your name?
Super brother.
Super brother, super brother, super brothers.
Let's look at the funk.
Would you stop playing with that radio of yours? I'm trying to get to sleep. Would you stop playing with that radio of yours? I'm trying to get to sleep. Would you stop? Would you stop? I'm trying to get to. I'm trying to get to. Would you?
This is most disturbing. Let's look at the funk.
Would you stop playing with that radio of yours? Would you stop playing with that radio of yours? I'm trying to get to sleep. I'm trying to get to sleep. Playing with that.
This is most disturbing.
YouTube Music
Hello everyone, happy Thursday. How's it all going? Right, so it's been a while since you've seen my face. It's been like at least 2 or 3 days for the minimum. I don't have a headache. I feel a lot more clean. And I'm finally watching the Bethesda showcase. I know it's a bit late, all things considered, but I wanted to at least put it up so that way at least I've watched it. So here's the thing we're trying to take away from this. This isn't just about the games that they show, even though that's going to be the primary. The main thing will be the presentation. This is Xbox's version of what the Nintendo Direct and PlayStation State of Play have been. This is, as far as I'm aware of anyway, Xbox's first version of the State of Play, their version of the State of Play. So to me, unless you want to count other smaller ones, this is like the first more branded version of it. So what we are not just judging isn't just the game. What we are not judging, well, we aren't just judging the games that they show, but the way they present their games, why they presented it in such a way, and how. So the style is kind of the thing they're trying to achieve here, whereas Nintendo's already got an established one. State of Play took a while to finally feel like it had its own sort of aesthetic and style and presence and confidence with it. Now it's just a question of how Xbox and Bethesda are going to do it. Although I am kind of concerned about one thing straight away, because it's called the Developer Direct, yeah? And the downside to the way they've said it's called the Developer Direct presented by Xbox and Bethesda, when it should be presented by Xbox. Bethesda is owned by Xbox. Eventually, Activision is going to be owned by Xbox. I'm hoping to see stuff like indie games and how they kind of the ID Xbox program a lot more. So that's what I am looking at, this entire gimmick that they are trying to run the gambit of. I want them to expand on what they have already been doing and maybe tell us more about these little things that they're doing, so that more people understand why not more people should care, but what the purposes of these showcases are. Because imagine for a second that they decided to do an indie direct in some form, in the same way that Nintendo does Indie World. The difference though with Indie World is that it showcases games from around the world and it is exclusive to one console, whereas there's a very strong likelihood that they are not bringing some of these games. There's a very strong likelihood they are bringing these games to PC as well, or they came from the PC market. So that's kind of what we're trying to assess here. Like I said, the conversation isn't just going to be I liked game. It's going to be I liked game and how they present said game. Are they going to end up being another carbon copy of what the Nintendo Direct is going to achieve? Or is it going to be something that they present themselves? And at the very least, the graphics that they've been posting up have been, at least it stood out. That's good. I'm not gonna lie, this is kind of cool. It's very retro vibey. It's very stylistic. I've posted it in the chat which version we're following. We're following the YouTube version at the moment. So I actually don't know about any of the other games. So it kind of depends on how they're showing this off. It reminds me of like an old computer. Like this is intended to look and sound like a really retro computer. They've tried to settle this like a graph paper, which is awesome. I actually like that idea. It kind of lends to their heritage with Windows a bit more. He says graph paper, but then, graph paper, and then they, oh, that's cool. I like that. That's cool. It's like they're showing the developers who are in charge of things. So there's Mojang. Turn 10 is in previous Forza. That's cool. I like this personality. I like this personality already. Okay, direct from devs. I like how the G's look like 6s. It's nice that they brought back the modem sound. And the whole boot up sound.
Hello, I'm Dennis Reese, executive producer of Minecraft Legends. And today we'd like to give you an insider's look at how we're building the PvP multiplayer experience for the game. Minecraft Legends is a new action strategy game set in a lush, dynamic world. It introduces epic storytelling, and you can form alliances with new and familiar Minecraft mobs to stop the invading piglins.
Minecraft Legends will let you play the story-driven campaign as an online co-op experience together with your friends. And it will also feature a PvP gameplay mode where 2 teams with up to 4 players each works to destroy the opponent's team's base. The game will support cross-platform play and online matchmaking.
Oh, that's cool.
In order to create the best possible experience, we've partnered with Blackbird Interactive to develop the game. And it's been wonderful to see their commitment and focus on the Minecraft universe.
It's so much fun to be working with Mojang Studios on Minecraft Legends.
Here at Blackbird Interactive, we
Is
have a
it
talented
Mojang
team
or
of
Mojang?
developers who are using our
I thought it was
background in
Mojang.
strategy games to bring a new and exciting experience to the Minecraft universe.
We're super excited to share more details about PvP gameplay.
There are some really cool features that make PvP unique.
First off, players share their army and resources with their team. This means that individual players aren't able to win on their own. They must cooperate to be successful.
Communication is really important, and you can sort of really tell the teams that gel together because they naturally form roles at the beginning of the game, and as soon as we start, you're off collecting, I start building.
It
we
feels
already
more
we have
like-
our favorite roles, but we change them
No,
up.
it has a lot of StarCrafty
Also,
vibes
the
to
world
it.
in PvP is procedurally generated, just like it is in campaign. This means that each PvP session is different than the last.
That it's different every time you play, depending on how the map is generated, where the valleys are, the mountains are, where the secrets are, you know, where the towers are.
In Minecraft Legends, the piglins
Yeah,
are
I would
ever-present
probably
threat,
argue that
and this
this
includes
is-
PvP.
The PvP
piglins are on
mode
their
has a
own
lot
side.
of
They're trying to kill both of you at the
StarCraft
same time.
vibes to it.
So the opposing team is not the only thing you need to worry about.
Beware of the piglins.
In PvP, there's something for everyone. For players who like action, they can go attack the piglins or lay siege to the enemy base. For players who enjoy exploration, they can search the world to find resources for their team, hidden treasure chests, or scout the enemy base.
Gathering resources to help the team out, that's super important. But whenever I get into a PvP match, the first thing I try to do is to track down the Regal Tiger. It's my favorite mob to ride because it's really fast, but it's also really cute.
For players who like building, you can spend your time building defenses and upgrading your base, because soon enough your enemy will attack, and you need to be ready.
Yeah, it definitely
So the
feels
first
like
thing I do when we start is
there's
everyone
already
runs
like
off.
a competitive
I open the
feel
map,
to
see
it.
where the
Yo,
enemy base
Tofu,
is.
how's it going, man? Happy
First thing I build is what we call an upgrade tower, where it allows you to build upgrades. So I place that at the back, away from the enemy. So I really pride myself in making, you know, impenetrable bases.
Since the goal of PvP is to destroy the opposing team's base, defending your own base is really important. You have to start with a lot of walls, a lot of towers, and some gates. After that, you can just add whatever you want, freestyle it a bit. I like to add different layers of walls. so my opponents have to find their way through to my base, almost like a maze.
Hello, hobby.
And then once those walls are up, I like to actually hide my ice traps behind them to catch enemies off guard.
When it comes time to finally take out the other team, my favorite strategy is to make a forward camp just outside the enemy base. Then I get the biggest, strongest mobs I can as fast as I can and start sending them in. Then I can smash down the walls, take out their mobs, and claim victory.
The real fun of PvP is creating a strategy, having a game plan, deciding how you think you're going to crush the enemy, and then all of a sudden the host
Yeah,
tell
this
you,
is the new Minecraft game. I think it's Minecraft Legends.
and you're like, I can't do my attack now. I've got to
feels
build
very
an
much
anti-siege
like a
tower, which is an
StarCraft
anti-air
mode
tower to stop the
style
redstone
game.
launchers. You just have to be constantly changing your tactics, and sometimes you're like, I have no idea what they're doing, and then you certainly find out very quickly.
Resources, or do I never? I
Reminds me of Halo
A
Wars.
while back,
It
they
does
had
have a lot of
somebody on
Halo
their dev
Wars
team
feels
use a
to it.
strategy where they built a bunch of what are called plank golems, which are archers. So they're very weak, but they do a high amount of damage. And he had 40 of them, and he just ran through our base, ran around our tower, and took out our entire tower with such a simple strategy.
And that's why we still love playing it every day, because every game is different. You never know what's going to happen.
I'm wondering if they'll have standardized maps, so you can do competitive. But yeah, this definitely, again, and I seem like I seem to keep saying it, but this feels like Minecraft's answer to StarCraft 2 in terms of the competitive mode. It may not initially feel like that, but this mode feels a lot heavier towards that, like, that style of gameplay, that style of competitiveness. Oh, we got a release date. That's nice. Hang on, I gotta close the door.
Hi everyone, I'm Chris Sasaki, and welcome to Turn 10 Studios. The team is
I'm pretty
hard
sure
at
everyone
work bringing
made it.
you the next generation of Forza Motorsport, built from the ground up
It's
to take
Isaki.
advantage of the Xbox Series consoles. This is the most technically advanced racing game ever made. Today, I'm joined by some of our amazing team members to show you how we are making it look real, sound real, and feel real. This is Forza Motorsport.
So what did you think of that anyway, Tom?
At launch, Forza Motorsport features over 500 cars for you to collect, race, and customize with
So
more
this
than
is
800
the-
unique upgrades.
This
This
is-
includes
this is
over
their,
100 new to motorsport cars.
their
and
simulator
the
game?
most modern race cars we've ever featured on our roster. Racing is violent. It's a battle on the racetrack. The advancements in our physics model are greater than Forza Motorsport 5, 6, and 7 combined. This makes our driving experience more fun and rewarding in the way the car accelerates, corners, and brakes. Our materials and shaders are built from the ground up at higher resolutions and
I don't
optimized
like
for
the
a cutting-edge
dubstep
ray tracing experience.
style music
Our
that they
paints
used here.
are sourced using
But
a
that's just because
spectrophotometer
it's a
to
personal
capture
preference
multiple
thing.
data points of light behavior on a surface. This yields a paint model that has a much more realistic light response across color, metal flake, and gloss. Damage and dirt buildup is unique to each car. It's now contextually aware and more localized. We simulate paint thickness, chipping, and directionality.
Cars are cool.
Dirt
They are.
accumulation is more realistic, gathering more in the low pressure areas like recesses and alcoves. These innovations tell the story of the work you put into a race and reflects the marks
See,
and balance
I'm
cars.
not sure about that. Like how outside of
This
it
is our
looks more
best sounding
realistic.
Forza Motorsport
It's
ever.
that's what it kind of comes
And the
down to.
first
So
to be
that's
mixed natively
always a
for
struggle
immersive audio
to
formats like
mention
Windows
with
Sonic
simulation.
and Dolby Atmos. To create an immersive soundscape,
Each audio system has been rebuilt from the ground up to deliver a new level of sonic depth and authenticity for our players. Modifying car parts like your exhaust and turbo change
Sonic
the car
depth
sounds in
just
Forza
basically
Motorsport,
means
just like it
how
would in the real world.
how the sound
Every
travels.
car now has a variety
as
of
far as
sound
my
possibilities
understanding
based
of
on
it.
the parts you've installed. Hardware-accelerated convolution reverb accurately reproduces how sounds in Forza interact within an acoustic space, dynamically adapting to its surroundings
like
and
the
creating
thing
a
where
realistic and detailed soundscape.
And it sounds so lame when I do it like that.
New features like our regional track announcer system and improved tire and suspension audio bring a new level of realism to the game.
Yeah, exactly.
Hear Forza Motorsport like never before. Every tire squeal, every engine, lap after lap.
Especially when you feel like you hear the same marketing buzzwords all the time. Like, there's only so much you can do.
Forza Motorsport
I'm trying to
launches
figure out
with
what
20
I would want to
environments
hear about.
built from the ground up for this generation. You'll get to race on iconic fan favorites, as well as 5 all-new to Motorsport locations, including our first in South Africa, Kyalami. We capture our environments to an incredible level of detail. When we reference a track, our team comes back with over 3 terabytes of highly detailed photogrammetry and laser scan data.
Yes.
Through the power of the Xbox
3.
Series consoles, we're able to use
I don't know
this
why
data
that
to
info
draw
was
up to
important,
10
like,
times more
specifically about
detail
that.
than previous generations. You'll see lush trees, dense grass and overgrowth vegetation, animated track life, physically based lighting and volumetric fog effects, and a fully procedural cloud system that evolves organically. Tracks look alive, sound alive, and feel alive with cutting-edge visuals and crowds consisting of tens of thousands of fully animated.
I'm trying, I really am.
So you're always immersed in the pure
I'm
spectacle.
trying to
of
find
racing.
like new
For
words
the first
to
time
things.
in Forza Motorsport, fully dynamic time of day with weather ensures a constantly evolving racing experience where no 2 laps ever look the same. Meanwhile, dynamic track temperatures, wet driving surfaces, and rubbering in ensure that no 2 laps ever play the same.
There we go. Sorry, I was fixing
I
that.
love the detail our talented team of artists have built into Kyalami.
Yeah, I get the screen and the flow gets wet, but it's in every game. So
Fast forward
and
to
they
night,
say that
and
quite
the vista
often.
is truly breathtaking.
Like I said, it just
You
sounds
can
more like
see the distant light glows of the city,
repeating
a
phrases.
beautiful visual touch. Even the Kyalami logo itself creates visual impact. every
Something
time you
about
see
the
it,
previous
thanks to ray
generation
traced global illumination,
has to sound
which
like,
simulates
you know
how
what,
hundreds of thousands of
we
light
couldn't do
rays
it because of
accumulate
X, Y, and
color
Z
as they bounce
reasons.
between
So this
surfaces.
is what the new tech
We're
has allowed
rendering all our
for.
environments
As
in
opposed to
4K
saying,
at 60
oh yeah,
FPS,
4K, 60
real-time ray
FPS.
tracing
All right,
on
cool.
track
That's
to
kind of
create
becoming more and
true-to-life
more standard in
reflections
gaming.
on all smooth
Saying
mirror
that
and
won't
flat glass
change
surfaces.
too much for a person who may have heard it in
With
other
the incredible detail
games.
and rendering features of our track environments,
If
Forza
you say in a
Motorsport
simulator
is
game
truly
where
a generational leap ahead with unmatched visual fidelity and authenticity.
authenticity, fidelity, simulation, that's basically what it is, but I need to know what it's simulating. Does that make sense? When you
Forza
say, oh, it's
Motorsport
better
is
lighting, that's great.
back. And it's our most comprehensive game ever, with over 500 cars and 20 environments, with more new race cars than ever before.
I want to know why
You
they
can
picked the cars. I
experience
think that's
all of
probably the
this
thing I
in
want
our
to get across.
incredible new online racing mode and in our all-new car-building focused single-player career. We cannot wait for you to get your hands on this incredible game.
I like. Hi, Pariah. How's it going? Happy Thursday. Welcome to the show. This is probably the first non-technical. Happy Thursday. Like I said, it's not meant to. This is not meant to sound like a dig at devs. It's more to do with the marketing scripting of what the hell this game is meant to show off. The problem with Forza in general, at least with the Horizon games, you have the advantage of giving a new environment and being outdoors. Oh, that game that was Forza.
That's me. And you're probably wondering how I ended up here. Well, it's pretty standard.
This is a very 90s or 2000s style.
Check this out.
Like,
music player in my chest. It's powering up my new robot arm.
I mean, it's anime.
It's making everything sync up with the beat. Let's rock.
But it's not anime. I like the art style. The art style's nice.
That's the defect.
What in the hell am I looking at?
The name's Chai. not defect.
Is this the guy?
We'll take down this company.
A lot of people
One
say
boss
that.
at a time.
So this is probably the only trailer I actually got
Just
spoiled
so
on.
you know, they're insane.
So I like Evil Within. Evil Within was really, really cool. Tango, I think it's called Tango Dreamworks or Dreamworks, and they did Evil Within 1 and 2.
Future Rockstar.
It feels like a cool
I'm Shinji
cartoon
Mikami,
series.
studio head at
Shinji
Tango
Mikami.
Gameworks.
Tango
Thank
Gameworks,
you for
that's what
all
it's
your
called.
support over the years.
And I'm John Johannes, director on Hi-Fi Rush.
Oh, you played Evil Within?
That's cool.
Chill out. It'll be fine. Power
まあね、このゲームを僕が作ってたらもう全然違うゲームになったと思う。だけどこういうゲームがね生まれて本当に良かったね。
So everyone thinks of us as putting out horror games like The Evil Within or spooky games like Ghostwire Tokyo.
Yeah, that's
but
true.
This
They
is
made
clearly
Ghostwire.
something totally different. And if this game hasn't already leaked, fingers crossed, we hope it's a pleasant surprise.
Okay, so I don't like how they've presented the initial part of this game. So you know when they cut to it.
僕はね本当に新しいものが
But
でき
I'm
て
glad that this wasn't a
未だにワクワク
rush.
してる。
This wasn't a
でもチー
leaked
ムもみ
game.
んなそう思ってますよ。So we've been waiting for this for a long time. So let's jump in and explain exactly what Hi-Fi Rush is. Hi-Fi Rush is a rhythm action game, so it's a bit of a twist on your traditional action game. Here, your moves and attacks help create a living soundtrack. That means all your flashy moves, stylish and devastating combos add a layer to the music. The more you flow with the beat, the better you can connect your attacks and abilities. You are in total control during combat, but everything you do syncs up like an awesome music video. That's Hi-Fi Rush.
A lot of people were comparing this with
play as Chai.
normal roads.
A wannabe rock
And
star,
I think that was
victim
really
of a
cool.
weird corporate experiment that lets him sense the rhythm of the entire world pulsing to the game soundtrack.
Oh, that's cool.
As you can see, the beat moves the world around you and is the key to combat.
You looking for me?
Your attacks will automatically sync to land on the beat, making Hi-Fi Rush a super easy game to start playing. However, attacking on the beat leads to combos that end with a musical countdown we call a beat hit. Think a big cymbal crash at the end of a drum solo,
That's cool.
like this.
You don't have to be
Landing
good
beat
at
hits
rhythm
unleash a
games.
combo finish that adds unique
Yeah, it's
musical
called
flair
Metal
and high
Hellsinger.
damage attacks.
And the crowd goes wild.
Chai! Chai! Chai!
I like the animation.
Oh,
Yo, Victory Blast. Happy Fast Day.
anyone
Welcome
see
to
the
the
guy
stream.
that did this?
How about we see it all in action?
See, I like the way this looks. It's just very bright, very vibrant, and it looks so cool. Yeah, it does. It kind of does. It looks like it follows that
You're
art
never
style more
restrained
than a
by the
regular
music.
anime
You can jump,
art style.
dodge, parry, and attack whenever you want, using whatever attacks you want. It's not about mashing buttons. The key here is feeling the beat. Your progress isn't blocked by missing the beat, but you get rewarded musically and mechanically for staying in rhythm. When we say everything moves to the beat, we mean it. Enemy attacks, cutscenes, dangerous obstacles, you name it. It all syncs to the music, creating an ongoing jam session of a game. To help out is 808, your robot cat companion.
Oh, wait,
who
they
literally
made a
hovers
Gundam
over your
reference.
shoulder
This is a
and
Gundam
helps you
reference.
find that rhythm. But we also have visual guides to help you even more.
Shattered Dimensions doesn't have this
We
art
want you
style,
to be
but
able to
I do get
enjoy
what you
Hi-Fi
mean.
Rush, Whether you're Rhythm
It's got that
Pro or not.
cell shaded style.
I look so cool doing this.
Chai also gets by with a little help from his friends. Literally.
Get up, slacker. We've got work to do.
I kind of thought
Chai
that
will
would be a
team up
different
with
reference.
unlikely allies who expand his repertoire of moves both in and out of combat. There's Peppermint breaking barriers and juggling enemies, along with Macaron smashing enemy armor and knocking back enemies. Tag teaming with Chai's partners and attacks opens
Yeah,
up
that's what I
huge
was thinking. I was gonna
possibilities
side
for
for.
dynamic combos and over-the-top action.
That's not bad.
The extra help is handy. Because
Okay,
when
I'm
you're
not gonna lie,
fighting,
that was actually
you're gonna
really
be
good
running
comedic
around
timing.
and wreaking havoc all over Vandelay's corporate headquarters, where everything is trying to take you down. You and your partners have a singular goal in mind: taking down the bosses of Vandelay Technologies. Besides wanting to erase Chai for being a defect, it seems they've got something a little bit more sinister on their corporate agenda. You'll fight through each department to take them all on,
Yeah.
each level with their own musical spin on the rock genre.
Okay.
And then we have a showdown.
So let's get ready to crumble.
Boss
That's actually a really
battles
good
are
line.
magic
I'm not gonna lie, that was a
set
good line.
varying from straight up fights and musical minigames to chase sequences. Custom choreographed to licensed music from amazing artists.
So they're gonna use actual
Hi-Fi
music.
Rush is like nothing we've made at Tango before. And we think it's like nothing you've ever played before either. It's a high-energy, feel-good rhythm action experience that's amazingly satisfying to play.
Whew. Pretty rock star move, Chai.
Okay, okay. It's cheesy enough.
もしねハイファイラッシュでお客さんから怖いって言われたら俺もう死んじゃうかも。
Yeah, that's true.
まあ他にもびっくりさせることあると思うんだけど、
I'm having
例え
grapes,
ば
by the way.
猫とか撫でれたりするの。
いや、それは当たり前でしょうね。いや、でももう一つのサプライズはありますよ。
まあこれはジョンのゲームだからジョンからどうぞ。
So, not only were we super psyched for you to play this, we're happy to tell you that you can play Hi-Fi Rush tonight. Not a
yesterday.
demo, the full game. Seriously. It launches on Xbox and PC a few hours after the show, and yes, it'll be on Game Pass.
Yay!
We hope you enjoy playing it. 合ってた。
Do you want me to try it? Should I try it?
You looking for me?
Get him!
Mind if I join?
Let me just find out who else is playing.
it does, sir. How about...
This is entertaining. You're going out with the trash.
Here's your Project Armstrong pass. And welcome to Vandelay campus.
Yes!
There's a lot of people playing it at the moment. It might take a little while to download, but it'll be nice to try, I guess. True, but they are also very long RPGs. Oh, okay. Is this Redfall? This one Redfall, right? Or is this the Bethesda game? Oh no, that was Tango Game Rex. Oh, it is Elder Scrolls, okay.
Welcome to Hunt Valley, Maryland, and the headquarters of ZeniMax
So,
Online Studios.
Vic Blast, have you
just
already
saw
seen
a
this?
cinematic teaser for the Elder Scrolls Online's next chapter. I'm pleased to reveal ESO Necrom, which will launch in June and is shaping up to be one of the best updates to the game.
I'm not gonna lie, that's actually a really cool
If you
logo.
watch the teaser closely, you saw that Necrom will include one of the most requested features in ESO, a new playable class called the Arcanist. It's only our third new class since launch, and we know you're going to love it. The Arcanist wields magic influenced by forbidden knowledge and has unique abilities never before seen in this world. Of course, the experience of exploring a new area of Tamriel is the heart of every ESO chapter. Necrom will unfold in Eastern Morrowind, not seen in an Elder Scrolls game since 1994, where you will meet new characters and enemies, reunite with some old friends, and explore a story based around the return of a well-known Daedric prince you just might remember from the Dragonborn Skyrim DLC.
Hey, look, Skyrim!
For those of you new to
You like
ESO,
Skyrim?
we release a new expansion called a chapter every year. Chapters are essentially standalone games in ESO that let you adventure in a new region of Tamriel. But you don't have to wait for the Necrom chapter to jump in. We've got so many amazing experiences you can enjoy right now. If you love games like Skyrim and Oblivion, you'll feel right at home amongst the thousands of stories unfolding across every region in ESO. And as anyone who's played a classic Elder Scrolls game knows, it's all about those feelings when you're fully immersed in the world. Remember that feeling when you first encountered a dragon? We've got an entire province that's overrun by dragons. Or questioned if you were capable of taking down a frost troll in Skyrim? Try it for yourself in ESO. What about the moment you visited a city in Morrowind that was built inside the shell of a giant crab? For the Oblivion fans out there, how about another chance at taking on the colossal Daedric prince, Mehrunes Dagon? Just like any single-player Elder Scrolls game, you can have a blast simply by following the main quest line. Or seek out more and learn more about the world. Become a craftsman. Go fishing. Decorate and furnish your home. Customize your character. Play it like an action RPG. And when you're ready, you can easily engage in one of the best open-world PvP systems. Run dungeons co-op with your friends for great loot. Or just join a guild to chat with others. The possibilities in this virtual world are endless.
Is that a Sonic Unleashed reference?
New players will immediately feel right at home because our community is one of the most, if not the most, welcoming on the planet. We invite everyone
what was
who
that
has
guy
not yet
called
experienced
who
ESO
runs,
to give it a try
Bethesda,
and
Todd?
create your own stories in our shared world. There's no required subscription and thousands of hours of content to dig into, solo or with friends. Explore nearly every corner of Tamriel with no level restrictions. It's magical being able to travel almost anywhere
I
you
was saying,
please from
is
the
that
moment you enter the
I forgot
world.
his name, Todd something.
ESO is available on PC and Mac,
Keep
in
thinking of
addition
Todd
to
Habercorn,
previous
but he's
and
not called
current
Todd
gen
Habercorn.
consoles, including
Todd
a
Howard?
purpose-built next-gen
I don't know if it's
version
Todd
for the
Howard.
Xbox Series X and S with high-fidelity graphics and enhanced performance modes. An added bonus for Xbox players, it's on Game Pass. And starting today, for a limited time, we're making all past chapters available to explore for any player, so everyone can test drive all of our adventures,
Can you
including our
get through
take
the entire
on Skyrim,
chapter
Morrowind,
until the end
Oblivion,
of the
and
limited
much,
trial?
much more. At ZOS, we have so many passionate and talented developers who continue to add to Elder Scrolls lore by producing handcrafted, epic adventures, and I'm immensely proud to be a part of it.
Yeah.
Believe me, we have tons more to share, and I can't wait for the team to show it all to you. Join us after this show for the 2023 ESO Global Reveal, where we'll go deep into all things Necrom.
I'm probably not going to watch
Thanks. See you in Tamriel.
that. Not to disrespect Bethesda. Probably not going to watch it. Hey, Arcane Austin.
Something evil
The
is
folks that
swallowing
made
up this place bit by bit.
Deathloop.
Nobody ever believes things can get this bad until it happens. Then, it's too late. But there are people who can fight back.
Stick together!
Eyes up!
It does remind me of Left 4 Dead. Like a hero shooter version of Left 4 Dead.
Welcome to Redfall, Massachusetts, where the calm seas and sunny skies have been eclipsed by a legion of vampires. Redfall is a story-driven shooter at its heart, which can be played single-player or co-op with up to 4 players. Choose your hero, each with their own unique abilities, and form the perfect vampire-slaying squad to take back Redfall's haunted streets.
Yeah, it definitely feels like hero shooter, like it's a hero shooter style
At
game.
Arcane, we make games where the world itself is as important as the characters. With Redfall, we take an exciting step forward, building a lovingly detailed open world to deliver our largest setting ever.
Okay.
Every inch of our open world is carefully handcrafted.
I want to play Skyrim
with
though.
environmental storytelling.
So does everybody, to be fair.
Explore the streets
Except
of a
me.
quaint
I've never
island
played
town.
Skyrim. Well, tried
From
to,
the once
didn't get it.
bustling downtown to the haunted forest to the decimated seaside boardwalk and gorgeously detailed landmarks. But it's not all danger all the time. There are safe places on the island where you can rest up, chat with survivors, and resupply. Here we're at the fire station, one of your home bases.
Okay.
This is one place you'll receive missions from survivors.
There's something I need you to do. The old lighthouse in the bay. It's been used for over a century to keep boats away from the coastline. If we turn it back on, it's a warning to anyone trying to come to Redfall right now. Easy, right? Well, the lighthouse keeper is a real asshole. Joined up with those cultists and took the damn lamp with him.
Okay.
Go on, Bert.
Go on, Bert. Have him up.
Here's a vampire known as the Shroud. Shrouds blanket the area in darkness, disorienting their prey. They hurl lethal projectiles and can even shift through the floor to avoid damage.
Okay. I'm trying to like be more interested in this. There is parts of this that is bugging the heck out of me. I'm trying to be patient. But it's a bit hard when things ain't working to the advantage type situation. Oh yeah! Nice. He said I can do this all day. Did he just make a Captain America reference? Oh, he's meant to.
Bugging out.
He's just like, alright, I'm out. Nah, man, I ain't dealing with invisible doors.
The lighthouse is back up, but there's more waiting for you. Taking down vampires angers the vampire gods, who will summon the Rook to take you down.
So do you want to move into it live?
Let's transition to what you'll find outside of the main story missions. There's so much waiting for you. Redfall is filled with encounters that can pop up anywhere, like this brewery that's fallen under cultist control. Save the locals from being offered to the vampires. Like
What?
our
I thought you
past
wanted
games,
blood
you
for
can
the
approach a
gods.
mission in many different ways. Always be ready to improvise. Remy uses her combat robot Bribon to help distract
Oh, yeah, I
and
forgot about it,
eliminate
dog.
the cultists.
We got him, Bribon.
When Bribon is like, he just keeps going. He just does not stop. Man doesn't shut up. He was like, bro, stop! Stop wagging your tail! We need to get out of here! Zabrado. Oh, but they blow up like a balloon.
Everyone's safe. Let's move on.
Oh, that was quick. All right, safe.
Exploring Redfall will take you beyond the bounds of reality as you investigate otherworldly psychic spaces to unravel the vampire's secrets. Take this vampire nest. These deadly layers change each time you step inside. Jacob sends out his raven to tag the enemies below. Dev follows up with his teleporter, instantly closing the gap.
Oh, okay. These like 80s style vampires where they all float around. They don't walk, they don't slash, they don't do anything like that. They have a lot better movement than you.
To destroy a nest, you have to take out its heart, and all of the
Stake it.
vampires willing to die to protect it.
Horrible way to die.
Stirring the life.
Oh, yeah, that is already.
Just one bite.
It's Left 4 Dead with vampires. That's basically what this is. Let's see. The hero shooter Left 4 Dead.
Now
with
escape
vampires.
the nest before it comes crashing down.
It'll collapse any second.
Nests aren't the only psychic spaces. You'll find dangerous pockets all over the island. It's all vampire turf, so tread carefully.
What if you take it all out? Like, oh wow. So you can die.
Redfall won't
if
truly
you're
be
not
safe
careful.
until the vampires are wiped from the map. Outside the main story, another one of your missions is to take back Redfall neighborhood by neighborhood.
Okay. That's
Find
kind of
safe
cool.
houses hidden all over the island, and then work your way up to the vampire controlling the neighborhood. To reclaim
Well, what if
this
it's the
neighborhood,
what if it's for the
you'll
greater
have to
good?
defeat a powerful vampire called the Siphon.
I mean, at this
Whether you
point,
dive
all
in
the
solo
vampires
or
are
with
kind of
friends,
powerful.
Each hero can take on any situation. Each brings powerful, unique abilities to the fight, and the upgrades you choose change how they play. Here, Layla's lift ability can be upgraded to launch teammates for airborne attacks. Upgrade Layla's umbrella ability with bullet hail to absorb enemy bullets and release the energy back at them.
I'm not sure how
There
I feel
are
about
many
the
ways
the
to
song
customize your
choices.
hero's ability tree to match your playstyle.
Nighty night. Let's get some light on the subject.
Let's hit on the arsenal. There's a wide range of weaponry, from military gear to new vampire slaying inventions. From shotguns to sniper rifles.
So it has some Dead Rising elements. to it.
Well.
And of course, there's also vampire stakes. Find these in the world to customize your weapons. When you reclaim significant sections of Redfall, the last step is to face the underboss who controls, or used to control,
The
that neighborhood.
underboss.
Underbosses are powerful elites of the vampire gods, with their own unique abilities, like this one's shield. When you prove yourself against the underboss, you'll receive a key of sorts. A skull that gets you one step closer to facing the ultimate threat, the vampire gods.
Does it see invisible vial of secret? Oh no, it doesn't say invisible vial of secret.
Thank you for visiting Redfall.
And thank you for all the support you've shown Arcane throughout the years.
We sometimes joke that our games can be tough to define. The one thing that's consistent?
We make the kinds of games we love to play.
And that's how Redfall was born. We blended everything we love here at Arcane Austin.
Immersive open worlds, unique and customizable heroes, RPG and FPS gameplay.
And of course, our signature storytelling and rich world building.
Along with our spin on one of the most classic monsters of all time.
Vampires.
It's been amazing to see how all of us have pulled together to deliver our vision for something new.
Redfall is the biggest, most ambitious game we have ever made.
Our teams dove headfirst into this new opportunity, and we can't wait for you to experience Redfall for yourself.
Thankfully, you won't have to wait too much longer. Redfall's coming on May 2nd.
Oh, okay. Thank you again for joining us.
And we'll see you soon.
My
in
apologies, I
Redfall.
got very distracted.
Yeah, that's what I've been saying this whole time. It feels a lot like Left 4 Dead with vampires as a hero shooter. So I feel like Deathloop is more the game I want to see from Arcane. But because the setup is so, like, I wouldn't say it's basic. I don't want to describe it that way because it feels very good. But the idea of it being more common. Outro sizzle. Okay.
There we go.
So we're gonna be reviewing the style as well of the Xbox Bethesda Direct.
Hello. It's so much fun to be working with Mojang Studios on Minecraft Legends.
This is our best sounding Forza Motorsport ever.
Whatever was that? I think it's the best sounding
right.
story. Shinji Mikami.
Thanks, and see you in Tamriel.
All right, let's do this.
Yeah, I wish it was like that. Okay. If that's everything, is it over? Oh, yeah, it's over. So that was a 40-minute showcase of things that had happened. Right, okay, so for a showcase called I only liked Hi-Fi Rush. Yeah, that seems to be the prevailing feeling. It was the most. It was like it's kind of. So let's be clear. What were we most excited for? So obviously, Hi-Fi Rush is the game of the Direct. Everything else was a sequel. Hi-Fi Rush was, with the exception of Redfall. I think what I need to know more about with Redfall is actually its story. I remember the very first or second trailer they did for Redfall, and a lot of it was about how character-driven it was kind of given. And with games like Deathloop and Dishonored, it was high on the... very high on the character-driven stuff when it comes to its trailers. So when they showed it this way, they showed off the gameplay stuff, which is good. Which is the best aspect about this, is that they almost showed... everything had a gameplay aspect to have been showed, you know? The downside was probably some of the presentational aspects. I think the most interesting one was Hi-Fi Rush's thing style, because it was the only one to feature... this is going to sound really lame, but it was the only one to feature a Japanese person, so it kind of broke the dynamic of what the rest of the other games produced. So it felt like there was a culture behind it. It wasn't hiding the fact that Tango Gameworks was primarily a Japanese developer with that was owned, I would say primarily, but was, primarily a Japanese developed team with the which is owned by an American publisher. At least that's my understanding of everything. Now, someone will tell me in the comments if I'm wrong. Whereas with Forza was like the idea of... Minecraft Legends was the second most exciting thing in my opinion. Then comes Redfall, and I didn't care too much for Forza and Necrom. Necrom had its own like little Twitch stream, so at least it was shorter for them. But Forza was probably my least exciting part of the 5 games they showed. Minecraft Legends has this sort of weird StarCraft vibe to it, which is great. I'm hoping we get to see some of this in play, where it sounds more like we're gonna see Minecraft StarCraft. Minecraft Legends 2, Electric Boogaloo. We're gonna see an esports scene develop in the same way that StarCraft did. I think it'll probably need some consistent maps for that, but I could see it working. The second one, obviously, I will get to Hi-Fi Rush, but I want to get all my complaints, quote unquote, out of the way, or at least give out all the positive stuff too. Necrom, I was generally not interested in. Just outright, I crashed and burned on that one. I think that's when I started to wade when it came to my attention. And Redfall, I feel like Redfall was a bit of a disappointment because I want to enjoy that game, but everything about it feels so common at the moment that it's a bit hard to quite understand what makes the gameplay interesting. Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense. Redfall is this, like I said, it's a hero-based. It feels like a hero-based Left 4 Dead game with zombies being replaced by vampires, which is great. Setup is cool. We got that bit. They did show a trailer where it showed off a lot of the abilities, which is cool. I think what I wanted to see was more the tension that the game is either going to provide. Because right now, Redfall feels a little bit too easy. Because while it did explain, yeah, you're going to beat all these bosses and this is how it works, this is how the gameplay loop works. But because you don't see that in action, it kind of felt a little bit superfluous. Like, it was very hard to feel engaged in it. Forza Motorsport's biggest problem is that it was a simulation game and it was a sequel. And it's not meant to be a dig at the team or the dev for doing what they're doing. It was just more the scripting on how that was presented was a bit of a problem. Because when you are following the franchise, you can very easily fall asleep on a game like Forza. I want to know why you picked the games. So one problem I have with Forza in general, at least just more simulation games, is why you pick the cars you do, why you pick the tracks you do, why you pick the career mode the way it is. Because a career mode will always be an improvement to a simulation game. It will always be a positive. FIFA did it. It was not new in that sense. And it's not like games didn't have a single player mode way back when. The question is more like, why is these parts important? So for example, with FIFA, they introduced a character that you played through, going through effectively the Premier League. They go, we're going to make it to a Premier 1 League team. That's the goal. That's what you're playing through. And you go through the dramas and the trials and tribulations of doing that. Forza should be Motorsports should feel like that sort of story being unfolded, which I'm fine with if they don't want to show that off yet. But if we're going by what they did show, it was just a bit superfluous. Like, if you're gonna say, well, higher fidelities, 4K, 60 FPS, when you're trying to figure out reasons to buy a game, and everyone comes up with that excuse of a game, you're not coming up with the same reason. You're just adding to the fire type situation. You're just more like, okay, we get it. There's a wall that says 60 FPS, but is there anything else about your game that kind of utilizes the 60 FPS, you know? Is there a way for me to appreciate the details that you're about to give us? Because if I'm driving and I don't care, why would I drive and care, you know? Why are these simulations important? Which is great that they did. It was technobabble that they explained, but if we're going from a marketing standpoint, why is that important? Like, why is that important to know in this setting at this point, you know? All localized in one place. Whereas at least with Necrom, with ESO, it was nice to see a new design, and they explained where these characters came from. So like, if you played older titles, you got something. If you're newer to the title, you got something. But with Forza Motorsport is the idea that saying that we get shinier cars and crisper sound, while it is great, not saying it's not, it's just, it's the same that we hear all the time. And I'm kind of like, I need to know more about you as a dev, what the game is going to achieve as a dev. You know, that sort of emphasis I feel like needs to be made. And then finally, Minecraft Legends. Actually, I think Minecraft Legends was pretty much the perfect game to have showed that off on. I actually think Hi-Fi Rush kind of got diminished because of the more sterile cutting style that I feel like Hi-Fi Rush didn't deserve. I feel like Hi-Fi Rush deserved way more. I feel like Hi-Fi Rush deserved a more unique edit compared to everything else, so that it felt more unique and different and pop and contrasty. You know, like there's something in Hi-Fi Rush that the other games just did not have, and that's basically style. That's the main thing. It was the thing that was the most striking. It was very clean. The gameplay was pretty much easy to understand. But then the downside, the things that kind of took me out of the game was generally all the talking. All the goddamn talking was kind of like stopping me from enjoying it. They explained the entire game, which is great, but I would love to have known some of the boss levels. Like, I would have loved to have seen a if you're gonna go at it as saying this is the only trailer we're gonna have for it and we're gonna just release it today, then I would have loved to have seen a better understanding of why I was wanting to join in. So, for example, all the 5 bosses, I'm assuming they're not going to be the only 5 bosses, but the 5 bosses as an example, I would love for them to just explain to me why these bosses are important. Who are they? Why are they there? I don't want someone to tell me. I want the game to describe why I should dislike them, you know? It shouldn't be there's some information I shouldn't hear from a dev. I hope that makes more sense. And it's not as a dig to them, it's just more that would create more intrigue and would make it easier to understand. In a 40-minute showcase, I have seen more games in a state of play in a 20-minute showcase, and I have seen more games in a Nintendo Direct. Now, obviously, this is their first one. This is their style, and if this is where they're gonna go with, completely fine. Not arguing with it, but then it does need to be a little more. It should have a lot less talking from that feels like it's talking from a marketing standpoint, and should be talking like, if I'm talking to the devs, I want to hear dev terms. I want to hear what the devs want to really talk about. And where as opposed to the devs reading from a teleprompter. And I want them to be quirky. Let them be quirky. They're devs. The only time where I found Redfall most interesting was that the devs were very much willing to do the interview. They're willing to talk about their game with fangs. Like, I'm happy to see that. I want to see more of that. If you're going with the idea that the developer directs are meant to be like pulling back the curtain a little bit and you get to talk to the devs directly from the devs, then I want to see them be nerds. I want to see them be excited about what inspired them, why this particular inspiration was taken in place, why these particular pieces of information. Like with Minecraft Legends, it was nice to see the QAs. That was great. I like that. Keep that. Please do that. I would like to see why Hi-Fi Rush picked the tracks that they did. They got licensed soundtracks. All right, cool. Is there a streamer mode for this game so that I don't have to worry about getting DMCA'd? Is there not? It's like, yes, there's a streamer mode. Cool. We'll play it tomorrow. You know, that's what it should be. Forza Motorspawn. I keep saying Motorspawn. Forza Motorsport needs more of a. I need to have a better understanding of why you pick what you pick. I think personally, Forza feels, at least, and this is the same goes for Gran Turismo because it has the same problem. They missed the trick of not focusing campaigns on particular stories from the things they're trying to simulate. So, for example, I would like to see a story of how you get from point A to point B in a Le Mans 24 hours, as an example. Or if they're going to talk about downhill drifting and customization, I want them to go a little more deeper as to what cultures had inspired the type of gear that you get. For example, as a good example of this, Japan has a very is probably one of the best examples of understanding wraps and the drifting culture that's there. So to me, when I look at Forza and they say there's customization on this, all right, cool.
Why do I care about the customization about a car when I just want it to look cool? I'm just going to drive it most of the time. Why do I need to customize it to make it look cooler? What about that aspect can I do to make that feel cooler? With Forza Horizon, it was the idea of you get to go off cliffs and jump off cliff faces and so on and so forth. Whereas Motorsport is meant to be the more real world simulation. So the idea is, if I am playing as with this particular customization that I put together, how does that tuning affect the gameplay in simulation format? So it's like, okay, so here's how we try to simulate suspension on your controller. We know you've got haptic feedback, so we try to emulate what the suspension would feel like on the gravel of the road, because that is what you're feeling at the feet of your pedals. Does that make sense? If what I've said has made sense, I feel like I've done more to explain what simulation is in the game, in the context of the game and the controller, than anything else. I was like, I don't want it to feel more real. I want to understand why it's more real. I want to know why that feeling is there. I hope that makes sense. I'm sorry if it seems like I'm just ranting, but that is literally what I have an issue with when it comes to certain types of games. Like, Hi-Fi Rush, I feel like the game should have been given more time to just talk for itself. Because the game was already great. There was no need for anybody to really... I didn't need the full-on in-depth explanation. I feel like it should have just been all character, all attitude, all everything about it should have just been, all right, we're just gonna slap everything in the face. You're gonna play it today. That's it. If it's gonna be as sort of as punchy as that, which is what the game is, I would just do that instead. I would just I would definitely just download. Sorry, I would be like, all right, let's play it today. Go for it. Cool. Play the game today. Beat the game. All right, cool. That was my one day, but at least there's loads of people talking about it in the same day, and it's got a high impact, and that's going to be great. Like Hi-Fi Rush, it's done its job. A lot of people seem to have enjoyed it after a day of, even though it is a day of it. Necrom, obviously that's for the ESO fans. In the end, I'm only going by from the presentational standpoint. Other than that, this could have been much shorter. That's the thing. Like, they put a lot of pomp and circumstance into this. And while I like some of the styles, so I like the slideshow aspects, so the white background, the marker style, the more sketchy look to it, I think keep all of that. Keep all of those things. I mean, PlayStation listened to me and Nintendo listened to me, so clearly you should listen to me, Xbox and Bethesda. Keep all of that. Keep the little nuances that you've got going with it, like with the printing noises, the modem noises. All of those little things help a lot because it definitely helps endear what you have. I think what you just need more of is an expansion of your catalog. PlayStation State of Play had the very similar problem of spending a lot of time on very little and putting a lot of pomp when it wasn't necessary. Unless you're gonna start doing what PlayStation is doing, which is State of Play is directly dedicated to certain things. It's probably just better just to make them as their own thing and just say, this is why you should be excited about X, Y, and Z coming out. This is the full presentation, and shouldn't be done here. It should be done in a half an hour format type situation. Whereas a game like I would like, when you get to show off the gameplay, the Minecraft mechanics, that in Minecraft Legends, see an entire gameplay go from start to finish, that sort of thing. Redfall in this particular case, seeing a mission going from part A to part B, and why that's important. Whereas, because it definitely does diminish when it comes to Arcane Studios. Because Arcane is a really high quality studio. And they've made banger after banger after banger, and then I'm trying to find reasons to not compare this to Left 4 Dead. I'm trying not to compare it to Left 4 Dead. That's my problem. And yeah, I still am doing that. Do you see what I am trying to achieve and what it is I want to achieve from this game? I want to be able to say, I want to be more interested in your game. But if you put beats in there that feel more like
my, if you put beats in there that feel more like that, I'm gonna see Left 4 Dead. I'm just gonna see Left 4 Dead, and I don't think that's the intention here. But yeah, that's how it's feeling at the moment. If everyone's saying it feels like Left 4 Dead, it's gonna feel like Left 4 Dead. It's not a bad compliment, but at the same time, this should be Redfall. I want to know why vampires, like, really, really pushing the vampire aspect, that this is vampires, not zombies. Really pushing the hero mechanic. These are these guys have abilities. We don't know why they have those abilities, but they're there. And yeah, it's 40 minutes dedicated to 6 games, which is around about 15 minutes per game, almost, if I've got the maths correct. Not even 15 minutes, about maybe 10 to 12. No, it would be more like, 6 divided by 40? It's like 8 minutes per game, almost, depending. But yeah, there were points where I was falling asleep, I'm not gonna lie, and I was trying my best to be more be more amicable about it. But yeah, it's a good first try. At least it's better than State of Play's first. It's better than the first State of Play they've had. But you've also got State of Play and Nintendo Directs to work off of. You've got you've also got Indie Worlds. You've got Wholesome Directs. You've got Wholesome Games. You've got so much to work off of. I should be expecting a little bit more from one of the bigger publishers. So, on this, great first job, great first try. But now there needs to be a heavier amount of refinement on certain aspects. If you're gonna, I do like the idea that you brought in the devs, which is awesome. Do that more, but let them be devs. Let them have fun. Show them off a bit more. If they're going to be a bit cringy, that's okay. They're game devs. It's okay. They're not going to be then they're doing creative things. They are going to do things differently than what you'd expect a marketing person to do. Let them be human. Let them be devs. Let them be creative. Let them be artists. Let them be excited for the characters that they are producing for Xbox and Bethesda. So, because that translates better, and saying, this is why this effort is here. Otherwise, you're gonna fight a battle of comparisons. Whereas if you tell them, yeah, go be a vampire, let's do this, and it's like, all right, we couldn't do it with the vampire teeth, but we'll just carry on anyway. That's how I would like to see more of it, as opposed to, yes, you should be excited for the next game. Why there's an expansion for the thing that you like, that you do. Sorry, I'm just rambling. But yeah, you kind of get my point. Hopefully you get my point. But yeah, other than that, Hi-Fi Rush is the only game I'm really interested in. I was not generally interested in Forza Motorsports. I keep saying Motorspawn. This is a terrible name for me. Motorsports. It's not even Motorsports. It's Motorsport, which is terrible. Redfall is okay. Minecraft Legends is actually pretty good. So if I had to say like first, second, third, for me personally, my personal tier list goes Hi-Fi Rush, Minecraft Legends, Redfall, Necrom, and Forza Motorsports. It's not even sports. That's the worst part. This is the whole Forsaken Wonderland thing all over again. It's not Forsaken, it's Forspoken, and it's called Wonderworld, not Wonderland. But we've been naming these games incorrectly this entire time. That's what's going to end up happening. People are just going to go with what's easier. So people are going to Mandela themselves. But yeah. What took the most amount of time? Hi-Fi Rush took the most amount of time. Oh, never mind. Redfall took the most amount of time. That took 20 minutes? Are you serious? Wait, no, 10. That took 15 minutes. The Elder Scrolls took the least amount of time. 15. That took about 10 minutes. 8 to 15. That took about 7. 7 seems like a good sweet spot. Seven's good enough. I feel like if you can cut down all your information towards 7 minutes, there was a lot of fluff in there. I'm not gonna lie. There was a lot of fluff. It was a lot of either repeating or really hammering home the setup when it came to hi-fi. I think you should just let it be punchy. That's all it is to it. Hopefully that makes it a little bit easier to hopefully it makes it a little bit easier to understand. So yeah. I think that covers everything for the for this portion of it. I guess the question ends up being is, should I play Hi-Fi Rush today or should I play Crisis Core? What would you want to see? Do you want to see Hi-Fi Rush? Or am I just boring people? Yeah? Okay, cool. I guess we're boring people. I guess we'll go to Crisis Core if nobody wants Hi-Fi Rush. So, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to eat a grape. And I'm going to start booting up Crisis Core. I'm going to restart the stream as well. Because I just want to make sure that the VODs are separate. But yeah, if you do watch this on YouTube later, thank you very much for watching. I shall see you guys in a few minutes.